Good morning, everyone. Hello. I have my unicorn coffee cup. Happy Friday. Really happy to, it's been, I didn't get to see anyone last week. Well, I don't get to see you anyway, but I didn't get to be here last week. We had some stuff going on with my family, but I am back. I am Tina Swithin, founder of One Mom's Battle, author of Divorcing a Narcissist. We come together to talk about all things divorcing a narcissist or child custody with a narcissist, regardless of whether you were married or not. And I cannot give legal advice. I'm not an attorney. Anything you come, and take away from our time together, make sure you run it past your attorney. We are very much a group bringing together collective wisdom on this topic. Good morning from Maryland, the state of Maryland. I received a message a couple days ago from my friend Annie Kenny, and she said, hey, I reached out to the governor, and then I know Christine, or another lady in our Maryland group, reached out to the governor, and then Gigi reached out to the governor. And so anyway, we just found out that we got the state of Maryland to proclaim November as Family Court Awareness Month. And I am just so excited about that. We also have the state of Idaho and the state of Texas, who have all proclaimed November as Family Court Awareness Month. In addition to, I think we're over 150 cities and counties across the country. So it is huge. I had hopes that we would meet the 100 threshold, but we are way beyond that. And I think it's only going to keep growing. If you want to see the map and see whether or not your city, county has proclaimed November, go to familycourtawarenessmonth.com. And a lot of people want to know, what is the issue with the proclamations? Like, what is the big deal? It's a huge deal, because the reality is most people, and I'm going to just say good morning. Good morning. There's my sister, Renee, Kelly, Ashley, Dina, Lisa, Alex, Heather. Hello. It's a huge deal because the majority of people in our country, across the world, don't even know that we have a problem. Obviously it's on all of our radars because our kids are suffering and it's personally affecting us. But think of how naive you were when you first walked into family court. I know, speaking for myself, I just believed that they were there to protect kids, and that if I said, X, Y, and Z, they would go, oh yeah, wow, that's a problem. Let's protect the kids. And that's not what's happening. And I'll tell you, I've been attending city council meetings online to accept the proclamations. And I did one of them in El Segundo, California, the other night with Sandy Ross of California Protective Parents Association, one of my Earth Angel heroes. And the city councilman was so moved by, what we are doing. He brought the proclamation to her house the next day, and she sent me over a picture of them together. And, he basically said, here's my cell phone number, anything you guys need. We have to hit this from all angles. And yes, there's a lot being done, at a state level. People are starting to come together, take some of the amazing bills that have already been passed and try to recreate them in their own states. And we need all of that. But as Sandy said, we really do have to hit this from all angles. We have to make people at community levels know that we have a problem, and put this on the radar everywhere. And so another example of that, I am now texting with one of the mayors, or the mayor of West Sacramento, the capital of California, and she has just been amazing, and even wants to now do like a tree planting ceremony to honor a mom, Amy, whose daughters were murdered up in that area. And so I'm going to drive up to Sacramento. I think it's like a 6-hour drive. And it's huge. People they're listening to what we're saying. They are receptive to the proclamations. And I really encourage you to get involved. There's on our website, you can just go to call to action, and it may not be too late. But there are some states that have 0 proclamations issued. There's so many of us working hard to get this done, and we could use your help. If you haven't already jumped in, let's put this on the map in your community. So thank you in advance to everyone who is working so hard on this campaign. Okay. The first question and we have Family Court Awareness Month merchandise on the One Mom's Battle website. I should probably put it on the other one, but if you go to the One Mom's Battle website, I think it's shop and then apparel. You can get t-shirts, I know Gigi has made decals and all kinds of things for her community, and she's going to accept a proclamation in Maryland. And yeah, Kelly says all they can do is say no. And that is so true. Some of them, we literally send an email and they write back and say, where should we send it? And then others are like, can you tell us more? I had to put in some hard work for Portland, Oregon to really make the proclamation wording fit their community, which I totally understand, but we got them on board. Yesterday, we got Reno, Nevada. Kate has been working her little tail off trying to get places all over. We got Scottsdale, Arizona. So, okay, I'll stop now. I'm just really excited about this. So, question number 1, how do I deal with a judge who enables the narcissist? And if you're new here, if you're joining us for the first time, read the comments, because I will never claim to have all the answers. This is, again, very much collective wisdom. I will tell you, and I call it, sometimes sound like a broken record, I'm sure, I call it the family court grace period, where for the first, depending on the judge, it may be a year, it may be 2 years, it may be 3 years, where they want the parent to be involved so badly. And the courts are so burdened by deadbeat parents that if they see a parent with a pulse, if they see a parent who expresses a little bit of interest, or you've got the narcissist who words and actions are not in alignment, they're over the top, how they are the ones that got up every day with the kids, they did all the laundry, you just stayed in bed till noon and didn't do anything, all of that. That's confusing to the court. And we have to keep in mind that the court doesn't know either of us. And for all they know, I'm a pathological liar. I am the problem in the conflict. And so we have to know, yes, we know our truth. We know who we are, but the court does not know. And so, it takes time for them to see who we are, but for who the other party is. And, so in that grace period, in any time, it's important for us to always take the high road, to stand on a firm foundation of truth, be our authentic selves, choose our battles wisely. If I could go back in time, that's probably one thing that I would do differently in the beginning, because you're in that fight or flight mode, and you're still in a fog, and you're not thinking clearly from the aftermath of the abuse, and you're under attack, and so you're wanting to defend yourself. That's natural for us. And I wish I could read all the comments. I see all kinds of things going on. What does Gigi need to make 4 of? Personally know 3 people being dragged through. Oh, DC family courts. Oh my gosh, we need DC. If you live in DC, or if you have a family member who lives in DC and would be willing to request the proclamation, email me at tina@familycourtawarenessmonth.com and put DC in the subject line. because we need you to personally, they won't accept a request from someone outside of DC. So we need someone in DC. So there's my call to action for that. But going back to that question, that grace period, it's after that mark where the judge starts leaning in and going, why are these people still here? Who's the problem? And if you have a judge who's maybe, there's all different, that's a whole different scale. You've got judges who are so narcissistic themselves that they don't recognize the problems in front of them. But then you've got judges who are truly just not educated on these issues. And that's another thing that we are trying to raise awareness of, is that it does not take two people to tango. And the reality is, a lot of the judges do not have any training in domestic violence. And that's something that we're trying to get through in these proclamations, is awareness that we have judges sitting on the bench who have never taken a course in DV, not even the 101 course. They don't know, what that is. And Kelly says, can you say your email again? For Family Court Awareness Month, it's tina@familycourtawarenessmonth.com. It's long, sorry. So we've got these judges who don't even recognize that there's a problem because they aren't trained to understand these issues. And we want to change that, and I'm not the let's storm the courthouse type. I'm the, give me a seat at the table. And that's what I've said to a lot of mayors who we're reaching out to. That's never been my style. I'm not going to show up at your office with a picket sign. I don't think I will. I might. I'm not going to rule any of it out. But I want to talk. I want to, and a lot of people go, oh, sweetie, you're so naive. You know what? I don't agree. I think, and I just was given insight into a conversation that an attorney friend of mine had with a bunch of judges over dinner, and the alienation topic came up. And the attorney that I know, he understands it's junk science, or it's not credible, it's a weapon of the abuser. And by the end of the night, all of these judges who previously believed that this was a thing, we're kind of going, wow, we need to understand this more. We need more training on this. And it's like, there are judges who are not bad humans. They're just uneducated. And we've seen that play out. Yeah, I just roll up in my RV with oversized stickers. Travel across the country holding press conferences. That was last year's Family Court Awareness Month. What an adventure this has all been. But there are good ones out there, and we see that through our educational judge program, that there are some where they are able to connect the dots and go, okay, yeah, I see there is a problem here. So number 2, how do you stay connected to friends when you are in survival mode and in the thick of the court drama? For me, I can only speak from personal experience. I decided I only had energy to stay connected to those who I didn't have to explain myself to. The ones who, were just, hey, what do you need? I will show up. I will bring Girl Scout cookies. I will bring wine. I'll bring my pajamas. Those people are my people who they just say, we're here to hold space. You don't even have to explain any of it to us. And I think it's important to stay connected to groups who do get it, so that you have a safe outlet to vent these things to and to unload when you need to. Because being around other survivors, and I used to watch that with my retreats, which I currently, I'm not doing. But, when people come together, and for many of them, it was the first time they've ever opened, that door and talked about what they were going through, and to walk around and hold all of that in because nobody gets it, that's a huge burden for you to carry. And I don't think it's good for us. So, making sure that you're able to spread it out to where you have your people where you can, feel supported, feel validated, that they get it. And then you have your people who, and we have to check in with ourselves also to make sure there's give and take. And that's what I hear from a lot of my clients is I've turned my friends away because I'm constantly just unloading on them, and they don't get it. And like I just had a lady share with me, my best friend came at me and said, "You never ask about anyone else. It's always about you." And I get that when you're in it and you're in survival mode. But sometimes we have to almost compartmentalize it and go, today's the day I'm not going to think about this at all. And I just want to check in with other people. So make sure you're connecting with them that way, through that lens as well. And then if you have, if you have advice to share on this topic, what works for you, be sure to put it in the comments. And there's some stuff going on about alienation in the comments right now. Renee, and I adore you. Thank you. I just wrote a blog. If you go to the One Mom's Battle website and click blog, it's the very first one up there, and talking about it all. Here's the problem with, even if we come up with a new word, they repackage the alienation stuff annually. Right now, the current phrase is resist, refuse, dynamic. They just keep repackaging it when people start to see through it for what it is. It is the father's rights movement. And so if I came up with a word today and said, hey, this is the word we're going to use today, it will be taken over by their side in a nanosecond. And repackaged and fed. I tell people, do not worry about labels. Like, for example, if someone told me that I could never use the word narcissist again, well, for one, I've never used that in court. I won my court battle and protected my kids because my ex is a narcissist or a sociopath, but I've never used that word to describe him ever in any capacity in court. I focused on patterns of behavior. I focused on how my kids were being affected. And so if your kids are being turned away against you, I meet you right where you're at, and my heart goes out to you because I've been on both sides. My ex tried to do that when my girls were really little, and I have a lot of moms who their kids have legitimately been turned against them or are actively being turned against them. I am not denying that happens. That is real, and I feel you, and my heart hurts for you. But what I'm saying is, don't use that word to describe what's happening, because when you validate that word and that movement, you are setting up in enemy territory. You are going to work for the father's rights movement, and they are applauding and laughing. And our DV community, it's being split in half by this word. And and Gigi she is a wealth of information on this topic, because her kids they are against her, and she understands the dangers of using that terminology to describe what's happening. If you absolutely have to have a label for it, it would be domestic violence by proxy. But, stay away from anything repackaged by this cottage industry of alienation professionals. It's just, I've been in this for 10 years, and I've watched it from both sides, and it's some of the most disturbing people I've ever encountered in my life. So that's that for that. Okay. Question number 3. My ex stole my money. I experienced financial abuse. Can a survivor find any financial recourse? And And I think that goes to describe, it's one of the spokes on the post separation abuse wheel is that financial abuse. Um, it is a big part of their playbook. It is their number one button. I know for myself, I was, anybody who knew my ex husband and I back then would say she wasn't financially abused. She lived in a huge house. She spent on credit cards. They vacationed. They did. Absolutely. I will never deny that. But I was completely kept in the dark about the reality of our financial world. I did know that he was borrowing money to pay people and moving things around, but whenever I questioned that, I was told, because of your white trash upbringing and you've never had money, this is how it works in the real world. And whenever I questioned anything having to do with our finances, and when we were on this roller coaster of, oh my God, life is great, and then, oh my God, we're going to lose everything, when I questioned that, I was made to feel uneducated, stupid. I just stopped asking after a while, and then everything imploded. And I was left with less than $200 to my name, and no retirement accounts and no college, for my kids. And my sister's on this call right now. Her husband had to pay and put down a deposit so I could get electricity turned on in my little tiny apartment when I started over. Financial abuse is it's a range of different things. And so, is there ever going to be justice in the family court system when it comes to that? It depends on your situation. If you're dealing with someone who has actually like a lot of money, and are you ever going to get an absolute 50-50 cut of that? No, because these people are snakes and they've likely been planning the demise of the marriage since the day you got married or before. They're constantly hiding things, and I've seen it all. You have to be, for me, it was just walk away from all of it, because the energy that I would have spent trying to collect money from him wasn't worth my health. It wasn't worth my mental energy, my physical energy. It just wasn't worth it. I came to a point, and it took years to get there. In the beginning, I was absolutely dependent on him to feed my kids, to pay my bills, and that's a terrifying place to be. And so I made a conscious decision early on that if I had to work 3 jobs, and I did at one point, had 3 different contract jobs going on, I wanted out from under that control he had over me, because for him, money was his biggest button. And when I pushed that button, he would push my biggest button, which was the kids. And I talked to so many moms about this topic, and you're not going to, there's that pervasive mentality in the family court system that we married this guy or this girl, it's not their problem to fix. And so I think that seeps in and becomes an issue. And it's all about what you can prove. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So if there's financial resources available to hire a forensic accountant to really start digging deep, but then, it's lifting your vision and getting to a place and going, if I take all of this energy and momentum and put it towards rebuilding my own life, going back to school, getting scholarships, whatever it is for you, starting my own business, um, you know, and that's a great point too. If you have your own business and you're a single mom, we should all be supporting each other. Whenever I see something on my radar, and maybe I'll start doing that on the One Mom's Battle Facebook page, like once a month, if you have a small business, post about it, tell us about it. I buy goat milk soap from people now because I know you're a single mom, and we all need to support each other. My dream would be to have a whole database of mom owned businesses and careers and resources, and how we can all work together and help each other. So I wish there was an easy answer for that question. It's going to be such a wide range of answers depending on who you are and where you are and what your resources and abilities are. So, can you find financial recourse in this? It depends on what that means to you. You know, if it's justice and fairness in family court, I think, you know, that's where managing our expectations comes into play. It's a broken entity, a broken system, and that's not where I would be looking. You know, here's the thing, karma has a crazy way of playing itself out. I think no matter what topic we're talking about, in the big picture, we always walk away as the winners. So whether we're talking about the custody, you have the ability to have an authentic bond and relationship with your kids, which these people aren't capable of. Their wiring is broken. They cannot ever have that. And so even if things go haywire for a while, you've built that solid foundation with your kids. They come back. I hear stories about it all the time. Mother Hustlers is a group I belong to. I love that. Oh my gosh, I want to belong to that group now too. All right, everybody, I am out of time for this morning. I've got to get my girls to school, but love coming together with all of you and get involved in Family Court Awareness Month. If you haven't already, take a look at our map, see where your state is on that map and what still needs to be done, because we aren't even to November yet. All right, everyone, take care and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.